Hi guys, I'm Dylan.
And I'm Alex.
And we're here with your next Road to Super Bowl episode. With our winter break schedule and the way things are falling, the first weekend of the playoffs, wildcard weekend, is going to be the last 2 days of our winter break. So we won't be here at school to cover that. So we're going to give you what we think the seeds are going to fall and how those games are going to end up playing out.
Now, obviously, things can change with this playoffs. We're going to cover that on what we think, if anything's going to change at all. So let's get right to it. Now, as of right now in the AFC, this is your playoff picture. The number 1 seed, we got the Baltimore Ravens. Number 2 seed, we got the New England Patriots. Number 3 seed, the Chiefs. Number 4 seed, the Houston Texans. The 5 seed, the Buffalo Bills. And the 6 seed is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Still alive in the playoff contention is the Tennessee Titans, the Oakland Raiders, and Cleveland.
For the NFC, the way the seeds are set right now, we have Seattle, Green Bay, New Orleans, Dallas, San Francisco, and then Minnesota. Still alive teams in the NFC are going to be your Los Angeles Rams and your Philadelphia Eagles. And now let's hear from our teacher analysts.
Hi, welcome back. I'm here to talk a little bit about the wild card weekend coming up. I know we still have 2 weeks left in football season, but as of today in the NFC, we have New Orleans playing Minnesota, and we have Dallas playing San Francisco. I think some things are going to change before then because you have Seattle and Green Bay at the top, getting the bye during the wild card weekend. I think you're going to see New Orleans, my ultimate Super Bowl pick, and I still believe they will win the Super Bowl, even though they lost to San Francisco. You'll see some changes. I think Seattle and Green Bay. I think Green Bay will stay atop. I do think Dallas will beat Philly. Philly won't even make it in the playoffs. If it did happen with New Orleans playing Minnesota, obviously I think New Orleans is going to win the Super Bowl. And if Dallas does play San Francisco will easily walk all over Dallas and move on in. Now that's for the NFC, but for the AFC, we have Kansas City playing Pittsburgh. We know Pittsburgh is a sham. They are not a real team. They got beat by Cleveland. What can I say? Should have got beat by Cincinnati too. But with that being said, Kansas City will consider that a bye week and roll over Pittsburgh, and then you'll have Houston and Buffalo. I picked Buffalo during my original cast a while ago to go pretty far. I'm going to stay with Buffalo. Buffalo will defeat Houston and move on up. Right now we have Baltimore and New England. I think Baltimore, everybody's riding the Baltimore craze. I am not one of those people. I believe they will fall in the playoffs. They are starting to figure out how the QB's working. I think New England, like I said before, until somebody beats them in the playoffs, they will continue their road to the championship, but they will not beat New Orleans. New Orleans will be your ultimate victor. Thank you.
All right, so in the NFC right now, playoff picture has Dallas playing San Fran. Dallas right now doesn't even know how to do a coin flip. They picked defense, so they kicked off twice this past weekend. They don't even, people in high school don't even do that. So Dallas is obviously very poorly coached. I'm going to take them out of my Super Bowl picks. I was just trying to start controversy last time. They're obviously not going to make a run at the playoffs. I'm picking them not even to make the playoffs. I'm picking Philly to jump in there. Philly has some momentum right now. So in this case, it would be Philly playing San Francisco. Unfortunately for Philly, Shanahan out in San Francisco has things cooking out there. I would take San Fran to beat Philly in the first round. Also, we have New Orleans, Minnesota. After Drew Brees' historic night last night, I don't think New Orleans is going to be stopped in the NFC. It's too early to tell. I'm thinking they might run the table and be the NFC representative in the Super Bowl. So his accuracy, I've never seen him like this, and the dude's 40 years old. So hats off to New Orleans and Drew Brees. Let's go to the AFC picture. The AFC features Houston and Buffalo right now. That'll probably stay the same. I think Buffalo has a really good defense. I don't know how they're going to be able to contain Deshaun Watson and the weapons that he has. And I certainly don't think that Buffalo has enough offensive firepower to really do anything in the game against Houston. So I'm going to pick Houston over Buffalo, and then finally Pittsburgh at Kansas City. Now, this might surprise you, but I think the game is going to be lower scoring than you may think, and I think Pittsburgh is going to go in there and somewhat corral Mahomes and I don't think Pittsburgh wins the game. But I think, unless they have defensive touchdowns and a couple kicks run back, they're not going into Arrowhead and winning. But I do think it's going to be a closer game than people think, and I think it's going to be low scoring. So, but none of those four I mentioned, the AFC, are going to make the Super Bowl. I'm sticking with Baltimore and that crazy quarterback they have, Lamar Jackson. So,
what's up, football fanatics? Mr. Snyder here with some commentary on the NFL playoffs. I want to reiterate my picks at the start of this whole process. I went with the New England Patriots and Tom Brady, Bill Belichick on the AFC side due to their experience, as well as how they were playing at the time. And for those same reasons, I went with the New Orleans Saints in the NFC. Unlike Mr. Bozella and some of the other commentators, I'm not changing my picks. I have a lot of belief in those two teams. I think they are going to meet in the Super Bowl. It's a little bit tougher road for the Patriots, I think, because they're not going to have home field. But New Orleans, I think, is that good. I think that they're going to be the team to beat. Drew Brees is playing lights out, and they have tremendous coaching. Right now, I'm going to say that the playoffs are not going to change. I'm sure they will a little bit, but I don't think that any of the AFC teams are the caliber. Maybe I could see Pittsburgh getting knocked out of it just because of their quarterback situation. On the NFC side, really the big game is going to be the Eagles and the Cowboys coming up this week. And I'm going to give you a bit of a dark horse. I think the Cowboys could make a serious run. They were strong at the beginning of the year. They struggled as of late. But, last week and the week before, they look pretty good. Dak Prescott, I think, is a tremendous quarterback. And, of course, they have Ezekiel Elliott, a good wide receiver corps, and, I think an underrated defense. So I think they could surprise some people. I know a lot of times people overlook those teams that just sneak in, but I think they could make some noise. But we're going to stay with New Orleans beating Minnesota in the wild card rounds. I'm going to go with Dallas as well, and I'm going to go with Kansas City over Pittsburgh, and I'm also going to go with Houston over Buffalo. So those are my wild card picks. As I said, I think New England and New Orleans are going to meet still for the Super Bowl. So time will tell. Have a Merry Christmas, and can't wait to see whose predictions are right.
What's up, guys? Big Out here to give you your wild card weekend picks. First off, for the NFC, we got New Orleans facing Minnesota. I'm obviously going to be picking New Orleans here. Minnesota does not have another miracle within them. New Orleans 28-21. Next up, we got Dallas versus San Fran. I'm actually going to switch that out for Philly. I think Philly's going to beat out Dallas for that playoff spot. But San Fran's obviously going to destroy them. I'm going to go 21-7. Now for the AFC, we got Kansas City versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh with their third string quarterback is not going to be able to withstand Kansas City. Kansas City's going to win that game 21-14. Next, we got Houston versus Buffalo. I'm going to go Buffalo here. I think Buffalo's a really strong, young team. I'm going to go Buffalo 28-14.
If you were going to ask me my picks for the playoffs here for Wild Card Weekend, I definitely think in the AFC, get the 3rd and 6th seed. Currently, with the way it stands, I don't think the seeding is going to change. The 3rd and 6th is Kansas City and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's always been Kansas City's kryptonite. I think they're going to go to Arrowhead Stadium. Despite having Patrick Mahomes, I think that Devlin Hodges and the 3rd string of Pittsburgh's offense is going to take over there for sure. A low-scoring affair, definitely. It's going to be a very defensive game with our defensive scoring happening. Hopefully, maybe Minka Fitzpatrick throwing in a defensive touchdown for us. Score's probably going to be about, we'll say, 28-14 Pittsburgh. The other team in the AFC, we have Buffalo and Houston. They definitely have a run for them. Best team in the AFC East, maybe. So definitely think that Buffalo is going to beat Houston. They'll give Deshaun Watson a run for his money. Buffalo wins against Houston, we'll say 28-21. For the NFC, I think things are going to shift around a little bit. The way the seeding sits right now, I don't think it's going to be right after Week 16 and Week 17 happen over here over Christmas break for us. I definitely think San Fran's going to retake the first spot in the NFC West. If they do that, I'm not going to bet against Jimmy G for sure. Seattle's going to fall down to that 5th seed there. They'll end up playing Philly because I don't think Dallas is going to take the NFC East over. And a game between Seattle and Philly, I can't bet against Russell Wilson either, though, in that situation. Definitely against a broken down Philadelphia team. That's going to be an easy game, probably 31-17. Seattle winning that one. Looking at the 3rd and 6th seed for the NFC playoff picture, you got Minnesota and New Orleans. I definitely think after what Drew Brees showed us in Week 15, he's on fire. Their offense is clicking on all cylinders. Definitely see New Orleans beating Minnesota there. That score will probably be a pretty decent one. I'd say probably 35-14 there. We'll see what happens after we come back from break.
So you saw all of our predictions on what we think is going to happen with this playoff picture. Obviously, I'm right here.
Yep, so we'll see what happens with the seeds and all that. Alex and I are signing off here with the rest of the Road to Super Bowl team for the next few weeks. Everybody hope that your predictions are right. Hopefully we are. And after that, just a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we'll see you guys next year.